Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video of Bling doing her first mountain trail show while being ridden. So I've done a lot of stuff with her on the ground. She went to New York with me and did a mountain trail show over there, which is a video on my YouTube channel as well. And I'm going to show you guys this video of her. And I was really surprised at what she struggled with. So that's going to be coming up in a second and you're going to see how I handled it. But I thought she was going to totally rock this, that it was going to be pretty easy for her because I've done a lot of groundwork and I've done a lot of obstacles on the ground and I've taken her a lot of places. She actually finished a champion at an indoor obstacle gambler's choice series that we did over the winter time. So I've taken her a lot of places, and so I thought this was going to be pretty easy for her, even though a bunch of this stuff is a little bit new. And so this is a mailbox that we're just opening and shutting there, and she's stopping and doing really nicely. And now I didn't get a chance to really warm her up much because I've got the 3 horses at the show, and it was kind of like bang, 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 like do one, the next one. So that was kind of tough. It was kind of like just go in and do it. So this is where the struggle starts to come. So right now we're just going around a little log, and then we're going to start the Moguls. And so I thought, it's going to be easy, just up and over some Moguls, no big deal. But you are going to see what happens right about very shortly. She's like there, nope. She sees a few sticks that are kind of piled off to the side, and she's like, nope, can't do that. And caught me totally off guard. And so I asked her to try again, and she kind of sees the sticks down there, and she's kind of like, nope. So I'm not sure if they looked like snakes to her or what, but she thought that that was definitely not going to happen. So I basically, she doesn't get into trouble, because if you get horses in trouble or you try to use punishment, if you start trying to spur them or do things like that, often you just cause them to rear and get more upset. And in fact, there were a few horses at the show that were doing some rearing and interesting maneuvers, evasive maneuvers, we'll call it, at some of the other obstacles. And so Bling here, you're not going to see anything dangerous happen because I don't get to excessive pressure with her. But I just kind of keep her straight and politely keep asking, and then you can see eventually she did go forward. And so one of the learnings from this, one of the big tips coming out of this video for you guys, is that if your horse is scared, just kind of keep them straight, keep politely asking, but you don't need to go to excessive pressure, because that can just make your horse become more dangerous in the responses, and we don't want to have that at all. So the footage jumps ahead there just because you can't see the obstacles on the far side, and now we're walking across a bridge down into a little gully area, and she did really well with all of those things. It was just the Moguls that really caught her by surprise. So I was definitely surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a lot easier for her, but it's a good learning for you guys about just kind of keeping your calm and sticking with your horse. And then I was getting off my horses at the end of the round just because I wanted them to not be rushing back to the other horses. So this is starting the next round, where we're going to start with some different type of Mowgli type things with some turns and some logs and stuff that she has to cross over and rocks that she has to go around. And she did really well with all of that. That stuff was much easier. And then the footage jumps ahead just because you can't really see that side of the park that well. So one downside to mountain trail. Super cool. There's so many cool obstacles, but a little hard to see some of it all. So this was her first time up and over a tire obstacle, and she kind of like stumbles as she kind of comes down. And that's just because she built a little bit of momentum up as she was coming down off the tire. So we just have to work on stopping after the obstacles a little bit more and making sure that she's thinking slow down and not speed up. There is pretty happy with her that she did the narrow bridge, no problem. So that was pretty nice that she did that really nicely. And so here we're heading through the curtain, which she doesn't care that it's blowing around or anything like that. It's really easy for her. So I was pretty happy with how she's doing there. And she is one that I'm definitely training for trail for the makeover. So she needs to be able to do all of these tasks. This is a great opportunity for her. Plus she's going to have some other skills that are at the makeover that we aren't seeing here, like back through and gate. And she probably will have to do sideways or drag something. But she's getting a look at a bunch of other obstacles, which are really important. So this one coming up here is one of the more difficult ones, the water box. And so a lot of horses struggled with this and said no and didn't go over it. And I was really happy with my horses that they all did go over it. She definitely looks at it and she's not sure about it. She hasn't really seen a bunch of water boxes because when I competed her in the winter time, it was winter, so there wasn't water in the boxes because it would have been ice, since I live in very cold Canada where it can be like minus 40 on some awful, horrible days. And then she did the teeter and it was great. So here is a look at Bling seeing their water for the first time. So at lunch break, we went back in because we were done for the day. So they said that we could go ahead and school on the obstacles that we wanted to just during the break. And so I decided to try the water. And Bling says, this looks pretty scary. And the water has, I don't know what it is that's in it, but it's some type of organic powder, something or other, that makes the water that kind of solid blue color. So the horses find it kind of intimidating because it looks funny, it looks weird, they can't see how deep it is. And you can see once she gets her feet in the water and she realizes it's not like crazy deep, to start with anyways, because now it's pretty deep, she goes in quite willingly and she's okay, but she was a little bit unsure at first. And that blue, the reason why they put that blue stuff in the water is I'm told it helps keep it much cleaner, and then also there are fish that are in the water and it protects the fish from the birds because the birds can't see the fish in the water. So that was a little look at her walking into the water, going the one way and then the other way, and then you can see now much more confident. This is the second time going from this direction, and she's having a little drink there. And I did ask ahead of time if it was safe to drink, and they said it was safe for the horses to drink the water, so that was okay. And this is one of the cool obstacles that we didn't do in my rounds because I just did rookie horse and novice horse, but this is one of the tasks that they consider in open, where you get off on this block and you walk around. So I wanted to give that a try with her. And you can see I'm riding her bitless in the thin line bridle. And then when I'm jumping, I've been riding her in the bit, and I've also been doing some trail in the bit too, just because I know she's going to be for sale after the makeover, and people always want to know how they are with a bit. So this is in bitless, she does both, and I kind of swap back and forth. So another one of the obstacles that we practiced was the raised back through. And so she goes in there, and she does pretty good. She bumps her bum off of the rails a little bit, but she doesn't get upset about it. And then she's just a little bit hollow. You can see her head's up a little bit too high. So we're not making a big fuss over it. We're just focused on doing the back through and doing it calmly. And then we revisited the Moguls, and she was totally fine. It was like, oh, okay, they're not snakes. I'm totally fine. She stumbled a little bit going off of the hill, but, no care in the world. You can see I've got loose reins there. She's like, okay, yeah, I get it. They're not snakes anymore. So we revisited that, which is great. We always want to make sure we leave things on a really relaxed note, which she did a fantastic job there. And this is the narrow bridge trying to do the turn. And you can see she's just not focusing on her feet. So I bring her down to a halt and kind of say like, hey, you have to stop and slow down and focus on your feet a little bit. And so here is our second attempt at it. And you can see she just steps off the side a little bit at the end there, but she's doing a really good job. And so here I just go for another shot over it. So you want to kind of just repeat things calmly and politely. I'm giving her some direction here to kind of stay straight, and she's kind of getting a little bit wiggly, but I don't get mad at her. I don't kick at her. We just kind of stay focused, and then you can see here she does a pretty good job. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think of Bling and how she's doing, and I will keep you posted with her makeover progress. Bye for now.